Okay, let's talk about beauty and insecurity. Let me open up and break it down for you. First off, to make things simple, we'll talk about me. Aku cakap macam orang yang kena guna body language, sign language. Okay, regardless. So here, what I want to tell to you about, what I want to talk and share about is beauty and insecurity. In general, every woman, beautiful or not, they all do have insecurities. Trust me, you can go and ask all the beautifulest and the beautiful women in the world, the prettiest of them all in the world, ask them, what is your insecurity? This is partly of what they would think about. You think they are pretty gorgeous and confident, but inside them, actually, they do have some insecurities, regardless. Especially for those who have pretty face. Okay, not everyone, but most of them, if you ask me. It happens, whatever kind of insecurities, in terms of your figure, your perfection, your facial expression, your facial figures, your whatever thing lah, your nose, your mouth, your lips, your love life, your feelings, all those can be your insecurities. They are insecurities. So let me tell you a little bit of what I think about beauty and insecurity. Everyone has them, even I do have it myself, but I won't tell much about mine. But what I can tell you is from what you can see physically. You see, back then when I was young, I always think that I am not pretty at all. Never had a pretty look, pretty face and everything. And for those who being in the 90s generation, 90, not a millennium generation, Gen Y, X, Y, Z and everything. We are those in the transition phase, 80s to 90s, trust me. If you ask those millennial children, generation, do they even know what is floppy disk? Do they even know what is tape, videotape, diskette? Have they ever used a Blu-ray? Have they ever used a videotape? Have they go outside and rent a videotape to watch a movie at home? Do they have any video recorder? Do they mom show them the video recorder there? Do they mom show them the CD-ROM? All those things before in early age, how bulky it is, how important the CD Walkman to everyone, how fun and hebatnya orang tu if they have NGS. Game Boy? Do you know Game Boy? What Game Boy is? You don't, right? Xbox? This is all like our time. Okay? So this is part of what I'm going to say. So, back to what I tell you. Once, when we have a phone, mobile phone, Nokia 3310, aku tak tahulah nama betul-betul, tapi I heard those they call now Nokia Sabun and everything. The U-shaped Nokia, which is bulky but very smart. You can play the game that ball bouncy inside there. I think the name is Bounce. And back then, phone, cell phone, handphone, smartphone is not really smart because it is only called handphone. You have a flip one, you have a bulky one which can open the pad down there, and charging as usual, doesn't matter, won't bother you or anything. But then the phone itself at one point has a camera behind, not in front. We don't even have camera in front. So imagine how our generation can take a selfie beautifully from behind camera. We don't use front camera. Though the image pixel at that time is not as sharp as nowadays. Like those 3GP. Yeah, when I mention 3GP, for all those young adult and I mean like guys, whatever generation they are, I think they will have another impression when you mention 3GP video. I learned it by time because I have men in my life as friends, a lot of them. Okay, so back to the story. Once when I start to take a selfie by myself, I learned to accept beautiful, how beauty I am as one of the creatures made by our creator. I start to appreciate a lot regarding myself. In general, I only think that I'm not pretty because I think my younger sister are more prettier than me. She has a more Chinese look than me. Our our blood are mix of Chinese actually, 3/4 Chinese, because my great grandfather, great grandmother is a Chinese, and above that is a pure Chinese one, mixed with Malay. And then we are like third generation. What is obvious for us is only our eyes. Back then when I was young, mata sepet sebelah, that is common. My younger sister has the difficulty to say R. I don't know why people keep on like mentioning orang lidah pendek is like Chinese mostly lidah pendek, cannot pronounce the R properly. But maybe yes, maybe no, I'm not sure whether it is gene or race related, but she cannot say properly anything comes with R, like ribbon, perak. Kind of funny anyway, but by time she can cope and adapt with it. So for me, beauty is a subject which is perception of people is different among them. But then if you ask me, beauty is everything. It comes in every different shape. Black also is pretty, white also is pretty, fair is pretty, albino, syndromic person are pretty. For me, I think myself is pretty. I don't have to tell people, but I can tell you I am pretty. And I don't need people to tell me I am pretty, because I know myself I am pretty. Though my subject of interest and my perception of beauty is different from everyone. I have a good brow, despite this, I think this one is not really even enough. Eyes, I do have a bad eye bag. I don't know how I catch it. Maybe because I'm a doctor. I learned a lot that I stay up late at night and read book in dark, and love to read book while I lie down. Maybe my dietary had involved it somewhere in between, across the line throughout the age, which has made it comes to this. And actually I have this double eye bag here, you see. Yeah, I don't know how it happened, and I cannot get rid of it. At one point when I realized it, I think it's kind of too late, but I take it as my own beauty. I have a kind of highly pigmented lips, which I need to put on a little bit color, maybe some lip balm, which change the color a little bit. A lip tint won't work with me. So that's how I think about it. I go through, if I sharpen a little bit and highlight a little bit of my brow, it will be a little bit more prettier. I have a problem with my eyes, which at one point I cannot really accurately put my eyeliner by just closing one eye properly, evenly, sharply, like before I did when I practiced it before. But I still can do it. So if you ask me, beauty is totally subjective. You are beauty yourself, and your makeup and your filter that you are using. For me, when I use a filter, it's just for fun. It's not to mark or hide my flaw. For me, I am beauty already, and all this filter and all this makeup is to enhance my beauty. For some people, their definition is a little bit different. And of course, we do a heavy makeup just to make ourselves and our image look different than others, than ourselves before. Why? Because that is the point of makeup. Not everyone wants to use it to enhance beauty, but to change it to make something that they define themselves as beauty. But that doesn't mean that they hate themselves. Some, unfortunately, do have that kind of scenario in life, because nowadays social media really plays a role in everyone's life. So on that point, I think everyone needs to learn what limit them by the social media and what beauty really is to be defined of. So I tell you, I am pretty. I don't need anyone to tell me. Just by being flawed and flawless by myself throughout certain perspective that I have, and throughout some of the advantage and disadvantage that I have. Inner beauty is important despite the outside, and both outshine each other. So how about you? What do you think beauty is? And how do you accept and think of yourself?